I'd like to do a little study on what narcissism is, what I personally know about narcissistic personality disorder, which isn't much. But I have been studying it, praying about it, analyzing narcissism in the light of the Bible, and I'd like to share some of the things that I have learned over the last year and a half, 2 years. What is narcissism? Narcissism is not what a lot of people think it is. It's not what I thought it was for a long time. I've been familiar with the word narcissist, I don't know, for as long as I can remember. It entails a whole lot more than self-absorption or self-centeredness. That is an element of it, a very superficial element of it. Narcissism or narcissistic personality disorder, or what I like to call it, malignant narcissism, is a condition of the very inner core of a man, the very spirit, the very heart of a man or a woman. And it is a condition that indeed affects the personality of a man at the very root of their soul. And because of this, it is a disorder that absolutely impacts and affects every single aspect of their thought life, of their emotive life, their emotions. It affects their ability to perceive the world around them. Narcissism affects an individual's very ability to discern what is reality and what isn't. Every case of narcissistic personality disorder I've ever read about, heard about, or experienced myself is earmarked by delusion. The narcissist is an extremely deluded person. They see things that aren't there, and they will not see things that are there. Having ears to hear, they won't hear, and having eyes to see, they don't see. I'd like to begin by reading a portion of Scripture in the book of Ephesians of the New Testament out of the Amplified Bible. Ephesians chapter 4, and this is verses 18 and 19. And it's talking about a group of people that the Scripture refers to as Gentile. These are men and women without truth, void of God, yes, but void of truth. Here's what it says. Their moral understanding is darkened, and their reasoning is beclouded. They are alienated, estranged, and self-banished from the life of God, with no share in it. This is because of the ignorance, the want of knowledge and perception, the willful blindness deep-seated in them due to the hardness of their heart, due to the insensitiveness or the insensitivity of their moral nature. In their spiritual apathy, they have become callous and past feeling and reckless, and have abandoned themselves a prey to unbridled sensuality, eager and greedy to indulge in every form of impurity that their depraved desires may suggest and demand. Listen to these words from this verse. Darkened moral understanding, willful blindness that is deep-seated in them, hardness of heart, moral insensitivity, callous, past feeling, greedy to do whatever they want, greedy to do whatever their desires demand. Outstanding definitions of what a narcissist is. And if you are the victim of one of these people, you can attest to it. Let's talk about moral understanding. What is it? What is moral understanding? Well, morality is the ability to correctly ascertain what behavior, what thought, what action is proper, is right, is good, and what behavior and action is not good, is out of bounds, or violates boundaries. A man or woman with a good moral understanding, or an enlightened moral understanding, has a pretty good grasp of what types of behavior are appropriate towards other people and what are not. Couple this with, what is the word? A motivation, an inward, deep-seated motivation to do what's right. That's also a part of moral understanding. For an example of this is whenever you or I do something to hurt another person, a loved one, we feel bad. We feel the pain of guilt and shame when we do wrong. When we sin, when we know we did something that God is not pleased with, we feel it inside. We feel grieved and sad, sorrowful. That's what I'm talking about, that motivation that's inside of us, that prompts us and compels us to not only know what's right and wrong, but to avoid what's wrong and to pursue what is right. I might add, to pursue it because it is right. Did you know this is void in a malignant narcissist, what I just talked about? They don't feel bad when they hurt you. They really don't. It's called, one word that we use to describe this is empathy. And I'm going to close with this. But this is very real. And it's hard to believe. It's hard for me to believe to this day. But the narcissist has no empathy. He can hurt you and hurt anybody else and feel completely justified. There is no moral compass in this individual guiding him, motivating him, or compelling him to stop hurting other people. I won't say it doesn't exist. I believe it does. But as we just read here in Ephesians, his conscience has become so seared and callous, it's been rendered ineffective. A darkened moral understanding. He does not comprehend the ramifications on others or himself of his negative behavior. It doesn't faze him at all to hurt or bully you. And in many cases, the malignant narcissist actually receives supply from bullying and hurting you. And I'd like to talk about that later. Narcissistic supply. But if you don't know that term, I encourage you just go online and do a study of narcissistic supply. But yeah, they not only feel no pain of guilt or shame when they hurt people, many of them enjoy it. I'm not kidding. Thank you.